Hi, welcome to episode 10 of Last Stitch Effort, which is my podcast about using up my yarn stash and not adding more to it. We'll just move past that part because you'll see in a bit. My name is Pacasha and I'm joining you from New Mexico, and it's a little bit cold here, so I actually get to wear some knitwear, so we'll start with that first. What I'm wearing. So this is the Hillary Fluff and the Magic Fungi. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. It has a really long name. The designer is Bunnymuff. Yes. Which sounds dirty. Anyway, so it's a steeked cardigan, and I'll stand up. So it's steeked, and it has the cutest little chickens and mushrooms along the bottom and along the 3/4 sleeves. A lot of this, well, the mushroom, the red in the mushroom was done with duplicate stitching, and the rest was just, you know, 2-color stranded color work. I changed the colors a lot, obviously. I used all Knit Picks palette, and that's what it looks like on the inside. This is my steeks. Like, they're little, I probably need to put some ribbon over that, but it's a pretty sturdy steek, so I'm not too worried about it unraveling. Anyway, and you don't ever see it anyway, it stays closed. Anyway, that's what I'm wearing, to make sure I didn't sit on something scary. Let's see. I guess let's move on to finished objects. Yeah, seems a little bit rough. I mean, I'm not totally out of practice, but I wasn't really expecting to record. Several things came up this week, and so I didn't think I would be able to, but I'm fitting in a few minutes. So anyway, I finished my daughter's, let's look here. Let's look in the camera properly. This is my daughter's, I think they're called, why can't I think? Crocus Vernus by Hunter Hammersen. It's in her Knitter's Curiosity Cabinet Volume 1 book. And I don't think I did any modifications. I could have gone another repeat before I started it's not even the decreases. There's a pattern before you start doing the decreases. And anyway, I feel like I probably could have done more of this before I started that last little pattern, but it worked out. It's fine. They're really pretty and really cute. The yarn is Orange Flower Yarns. It was a mystery grab bag, so I'm not sure the colorway or the base that it's on. I guess they have a bunch of bags right now, the mystery bags in their shop. So not to enable you, but if you could go buy those so that I don't have to, that'd be great, because I'm really tempted and I go look at their website a lot, and I need to not do that because all right, so those are done, and these are sock blockers that my husband made, so because sometimes people ask about that sort of thing, not here, but you know, when I watch other podcasts, people ask those kinds of questions. I also finished a pair of mitts called Six Kloos. I don't know if I'm not saying that right, probably. And it's by Hazel Tindall, and it was in the latest Shetland Wool Festival thing, like little book that they do. And I just wove in the ends this morning, so they've been blocking for a few days, and I wove in the ends. And so essentially the pattern is to pick 6 colors or 6 yarns and then make as many pairs of mitts as you can, just rearranging the colors and the sequence and stuff. And I put the colors together. I thought it'd be okay, but not even now that they're done, like the whole time I'm like, I don't think I really like these colors together. And it's mainly because that middle color, that yellowy green, I think it was Tarragon by Knit Picks palette. This is a combination, I think, of palette and maybe some Jamieson and Smith on. I don't, yeah, the brown is. Anyway, I actually am not thrilled with that. I think it's a bit too yellow. I would have preferred if it were a cooler green or just a totally different color altogether if I had done purple like I had originally planned. Anyway, I still have these colors all bundled up, and usually I would make like an entire set, like a hat or, you know, a cowl or something, but I just wasn't feeling it, so I just kind of stopped it at this. And if I maybe replace that color with something else, maybe I'll make like a tam and something maybe later, but I'm kind of done with it for now. I did the pattern once, and that's okay. I can move on. But I mean, they're nice mitts. They fit nicely, and I mean, they're not horrendous. They're still really pretty, and you know, I did a pretty good job. Like, I don't know, maybe just not my favorite, and that's okay. So yeah, it was still like a nice little fun way to play with color, and I feel like you're never really losing if you're playing with color. So that's another finished thing. So let's move on to works in progress. I have 3. They're all new, although I have discussed all 3 of them in previous podcasts. I just didn't start them until this week. Let's see, how am I going to do this? Okay, we'll just start with this one on top. These are another pair of socks for my daughter, and I'm not using a pattern, but there is a pattern called Una socks, I believe, that is similar. I'm just winging it. So it's got these little pink hearts, and I did them all on the leg, and I did a cream color heel, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do the foot yet. Where I ended the row kind of messed up with, I don't know what I'm going to do on the gusset. So if I want to carry another yarn, or if I just want to finish these off to be like this white color for the rest of the foot, maybe add some hearts down here like before the decreases. I don't really know what I'm doing yet, so they're just kind of stalled out. And the 2 colors I'm using are West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply in Milk Bottle and Candy Floss, which is cotton candy if you're American. And yeah, that's all I really have to say about that. And this is one of my favorite yarns for socks because it's super durable and it's pretty. And they have solids, and they have like little stripy, self-striping colorways, as well as, if you know, I mean, I'm sure you guys all know, but I don't know. I've recently been checking analytics. Is that the right word? I know, I can't. Anyway, the majority of my viewers are 18 to 24, male, from the Philippines. So maybe you don't know about yarn, or maybe you're a bot. I think it's an interesting demographic. I welcome you if you are a young Filipino man. I think that's fantastic, and I love you, and you are welcome here. If you are a bot, you're welcome here too. I don't care. Anyway, so the next project. That was kind of weird, huh? Okay, I'm really tangled. Let's see. This is the Druid mitts. They're also called Green Autumn mittens, whatever. They were published in Vogue Knitting several years ago, and I've always wanted to make them, and I've tried several times, and I haven't been able to get the gauge right, and I think I've got it this time. It's more blue actually, but you can kind of see it's like a mottled heather color, and this is Jamieson and Smith. It's FC39 mix. I'm not sure, I'm not wearing my glasses, so yeah, it's just their 2-ply jumper weight. And this is a lot of the problems I've had. Well, the problem I had with the last pair was the gauge number 1, and then number 2, I wasn't sure if I had enough yardage to finish, because they do have a lot of texture, so they are going to eat up a lot of yarn. And normally I wouldn't, you know, think twice about 25 grams per mitt, but this way I have 3 skeins instead of just 2, so I feel confident that I have enough yarn to finish these. So it's a pretty color. That's actually quite accurate. Well, I don't know. Your eye blends it better than a camera does. So I really feel like the texture of the pattern is gonna be all right. But that's the next project that I've been working on. And the last is for my husband, Mark. He asked, I think it was 2 episodes ago. I don't know, episode ago. I showed all my cowls, and one of the ones that I showed that I've done before, several times before, is a barley sugar by Hazel Tindall. And let's put this down. My husband said that he would like that, so he picked out some yarn from my stash. This is Larch Heather Shadow Lace from Knit Picks, and I have 2 skeins of that, and I'm going to use all 2 skeins to make a really long brioche loop, and then you join it together, and you can double it or have a really long scarf. But either way, it's going to be really squishy and warm, and the brioche is going to create kind of a pillowy, lofty texture to trap in that air. So it should be really nice for him. And this is my provisional cast on. Okay, I hate provisional cast ons. I mean, I like them as a technique. I think that they're fantastic and should be used in certain situations. I just cannot be bothered to get up and get waste yarn. And when I do, I don't really think too much about it. I just grab whatever's there. Well, I grabbed just little pieces left over from working these, and so it's kind of like weird chunks of a very woolly, sticky yarn. So it's going to be really hard to take out my cast on there, because what you do is you do like kind of a crochet chain, and then you build your knit stitches out of that, and then you take off this waste yarn right here, and then you like sew it together, you graft it, Kitchener stitch with the other end. But when you use 2 very woolly yarns, they can kind of like full together, or felt. I think it's technically fulling. So I may be crying when I finish this. I may be upset at my decision there, my lack of forward thinking. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm working a project, I like to do something, I consider it like being kind to my future self. And so I try to do things to help myself out, like later on in the process, like weaving in ends and, I don't know, balling up yarns and things like that, like to work ahead so I'm not frustrated later on. And that's one of the ways that I can finish projects and not just have like a big pile of unfinished things for years and years. Like, I set myself up to succeed because I know my pitfalls, and I know like I won't cast on that second sock unless I do it the second I bind off the first sock. Like, I know all of my weird shortcomings, and work past that. And so one of those is to maybe not make things hard for myself, and I kind of did. And yeah, long story short, if I cry next week, that's why. Actually, it'll probably be a couple weeks before I finish that. It's going to be a lot of knitting because it's lace weight on size 6 needles, which is kind of lofty, but it's still, you know, pretty delicate work. So this should be fun. Okay, well, I'm going to rip the Band-Aid off here. You know, things have been tough for us as a family lately, and they're kind of better, but not really. But I can always tell when things are tough, and they have been at various points in the last few years. Anyway, that's when I buy yarn. So guess what, guys? I bought some yarn, and once again, it's Vine. I don't know, like she updates when I'm feeling the lowest or feeling sorry for myself. So I go to her shop. So this is called Rhine Break, and it's on her Nouveau base, which is a single weight. And I'm kind of collecting single weight skein or single plied fingering weights, kind of like Tosh Merino Light type, yarns, to do a really big fade out of some of my favorite colors. And I just need like one color to kind of just be that missing link, so to speak, between a few things. And I thought this would do it because it's got kind of these pinky reds, but I don't think it's quite gonna do it. I may just have to bite the bullet and just do this fade because it's gonna be epic. I think I'm not really gonna do the find your fade pattern. I think I'm gonna do more of a rectangular shawl because that to me is a more useful shape, especially if it's a large project. So I don't really know how I'm gonna do it, but anyway, I've got like 3 other ones that I desperately want to use, and I just need to find the missing link one. This one might not be it, but that's okay. It's really pretty. I like it. I'm gonna use it for something. I may even use it for that mystery project. This one is a new base that I hadn't tried. It's called Gosling, and it's a superwash merino, baby alpaca, and silk base. And this is one of my absolute favorite colorways that she does, and it's called Mooncusser. And I have it on a few other bases, but so I got some stuff. I don't have, it's not out of my budget. I'm not going into debt. It's not the worst thing in the world for me to buy yarn. It's better for my health than probably other coping mechanisms. And I will use it. However, I just got rid of a lot, as some of you may know. And I don't really want to replace it with just like my stomach's growling, even though I just ate. Anyway, I don't really want to replace it with just tons of other yarn, because the point is that I want my stash to reflect how I knit and not be overwhelming and not be what's called a silent to-do list, which is a kind of a minimalism term where, you look at all this stuff and go, oh, I have so much to do, when, it's a hobby. You don't have to knit. You don't have to do any of this, but oh, my stomach, I'm sorry. I really did just eat. I had yogurt and granola, and then I even flossed my teeth to get all the granola out. And I'm still like grumbling. Anyway, back to important stuff like yarn. So I like it, whatever. I'm gonna use it. And I'm starting to allow myself to use the yarn that I want to use to make the patterns that I want to make, instead of feeling like I have to use this yarn that I bought 10 years ago, to make this project that I'm not interested in making anymore. Because I didn't cast on at the time that I wanted to cast on. I know that that's kind of a recurring theme for myself, and maybe for you too. So, yeah. So I'm just allowing myself to do what I want to do. And kind of the point of my podcast is to use up a lot of stuff. And sometimes I don't feel like using leftovers, but I do get an extra special kick out of using things down to the last little bit. So there will be that still. It's just right now I'm kind of on a different kind of making schedule, I guess, for lack of a better word. But anyway, I'm getting kind of rambly. We've all been sick this week, so I'll probably sound a little gross. Anyway, so probably not the most exciting podcast. I don't have a lot of energy today, but it's been an okay week, and we're going to Renaissance Fair tomorrow, and I'm pretty excited about that. And hopefully, if we all feel better, Anyway, that's it. So I hope you're having a great time, and I should have some things for you next week. I don't know. I don't know if I'll finish anything, but we'll have something to talk about. Maybe I'll pull out some more stuff, or maybe I'll just show you what I got done, even if it's not finished, because that's a reality for almost all of us, right? We don't finish things every week. We all have different knitting times. And I'm rambling, and I'm gonna go and maybe eat some more. I don't know. Anyway, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you next week.